Okay, we are big freaking live.
We're rolling.
So good at audio, it's unbelievable.
Live from New York.
New York! You say from New York?
You talking to us?
What fun?
You talking to me?
I don't think you're from New York and I'm gonna wipe your mud clean!
Take it easy, Buster.
Oh, 1, 2, 10!
We should probably do a little roundtable introduction since it's gonna be chaos.
Forget about it.
People forget about it. Mike, why don't you get on over here? Grab one of these stools.
Slide in.
DMs.
My man Mike!
Yeah! Right quick, we got freaking a lot of special guests with us today. This is a crossover episode, the Avengers Endgame of Wise Guys Corner, where Spawn.us is in the building.
Spawn.band!
Spawn.band is in the building.
In the US. Actually, I think it is Spawn.us on Facebook, so you were right. Never mind.
Nice.
That's corrected.
Let's go in a circle. Joe, who are you?
Joe.
Mike, who are you?
Mike, I live here.
I don't.
Joe doesn't.
And I like to party.
Actually, Joe, you have to tell people your involvement with both.
Yeah. Okay.
You're very super famous, dude.
I play guitar in Spawn and do the screams in Wise Man's.
Damn, dude. Mm-hmm. Mike, your turn.
I'm Mike. I live here.
Hell yeah.
I drink beer.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, that was fire. I'm Nathan, also known as Nate Nasty, formerly Epileptic Chocobo, formerly Sasuke 5628 on PlayStation. Look me up. Subscribe, smash like. I do vocals in Spawn.
Hey, what's up? I'm Thomas. I whistled there, bro. I do vocals in Spawn, and I do bass in the Wise Man Sphere.
Just bass.
Just
are you
bass.
like the main vocalist in Spawn, or what's the deal?
I was waiting for one of you to claim that.
Yeah,
to be
no
honest.
First vocalist.
I didn't think it needed to be said at this point. But
Yeah, it's pretty
That's
obvious.
some beta
though,
vocalist
first.
energy.
Yeah.
Fully honest.
You've read my autobiography.
For people who don't know, I'm the first vocalist.
Cap. Okay, Jezz.
Alright, I'm Jezz, and I just play drums for Spawn.
Just plays drums.
Just plays
Just
drums.
Shreds the drums.
Just the
dude.
backbone of the band.
Yeah.
That's a big deal.
Not the leading, most formative member. Right?
Yeah.
The
That would be
foundation.
nothing.
some would say.
You're definitely drummer number one. There's no arguing that.
Paul,
Way to slice
did you introduce yourself?
I'm Paul. Hi, I'm Paul.
He's the host. Does Joe Rogan introduce himself on every episode?
Please
No!
call him Rogan. I'm Paul. I play drums in Wise Boys Are Having a Beer. And this is the Wise Guys Corner.
It falls
Well, what are you doing? I remember that's a song that we have now.
Dude, it's out now.
It's out now.
Out now.
Big news. Out now.
Remember when we did that for our first EP and no one cared?
Yeah, it was like to the 3 cousins of ours that we invited to like our Facebook page. Like, EP out now.
I don't know why that just cracked me up so much when we were younger. I was always just like, why is there out now? It's like we're advertising some CD at Best Buy.
Right, it's like the same energy as local bands talking about their fans when it's like someone who took pity on them and came to a bar show one time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, we're much bigger now. It's very different.
Yeah, we have bands. We have real
So,
fans.
yeah, and some of them aren't even our cousins anymore.
We got grandmothers too.
Yeah.
They were very disappointed in us at first, but then they realized it was semi-legitimate.
And they died.
So now we're just back to cousins.
On this episode of Coffee Talkers. Dude, I figured we could talk about a little studiotime.com. We just got back from the old Grand Rapids.
Oh yeah, that
So
was
how it went
blessed.
down.
God damn, well, I would say we finished tracking the best album to date, dare I say?
That humanity has made, not just us, but anybody ever.
Yeah.
It's a pretty big claim, but
Today, and I'm
big
talking,
album.
and I'm talking generally better than Kanye, Beyonce,
Papa
Ice
Roach.
Cube, Trapped.
Trapped, absolutely.
All my favorite rappers.
Even a Drake.
You sure about that?
No, definitely our best album though,
Yeah.
for Wise Man. I'm very happy
Very good.
with it. 10 tracks, not 11. That's okay. I'm not mad about it. I got over it. I had a little meltdown in the studio and screamed and punched the wall and broke my hand in 3 spots. But
these guitars.
it's fine. It's fine. We'll do 10.
In other news, Lee Albrecht will not be producing the next album.
Specifically asked to be off the credit for the record. Yeah, and then little Nate Dogg got a drop in.
Yeah.
Freaking met us in there for a couple days. Dropped some guesties, dude. I'm very excited.
They were like, we really want this song to sound like dog shit, so if you could just come in and just like go in on it.
Be yourself.
Yeah, they were like, just holler on it, and yeah, that's what I did.
It sounded massive, and it hasn't been
Thank you.
mixed or mastered yet, dude. It's neat.
No, it was a lot of fun. I was very excited, honored to be on the track.
Yeah, I know.
It was. It was.
Keep going. Say more nice stuff.
It was like because I listened to all the songs, and it was one of the songs I was the most excited for. So it worked out pretty well. I would have been happy being on any of them, but.
So how's it feel knowing you ruined the track?
Oh, great! Yeah, I'm just honored if you picked anyone to ruin your guys' music that it was me.
It was
Consider our usual
almost
choice of Joe and Tyler.
it was almost John Skellington.
Oh man, he was out of the budget though. We were like,
That's fair.
John Oswald. Oh my gosh, dude, how's life been, y'all? What are the pressing matters on your mind?
Yeah.
I'm upset that you look better than all of us right now.
Oh,
Why
yeah.
you got that shirt on right now?
Dude,
I'm just
yeah,
looking
Paul, you
ahead.
look good.
We were talking about going to Pins tonight, and I figured, why dress twice when you can dress once?
That is a good
That's a good
philosophy.
point.
Yeah.
That
I
is a
think
good point.
Robert Toyota said that. You may know.
Why have I been dressing twice my whole life?
Downey Jr. I'm pretty sure.
It's called, yeah. It's called Lean Manufacturing. Robert Downey Jr. made it.
Yeah.
Incorporated.
Also, to be fair, Paul usually looks better than most of us.
Yeah,
so-
that is
True.
Yeah.
True.
Flattery will get you everywhere.
Maybe I'll get lucky tonight.
Pressing matters, dude. I don't know.
Why not?
I don't know a whole lot, dude.
Jazz talk now.
Oh, sorry. Dude, life is peachy, dude. No problems.
Stop
At
that.
all.
Did your apartment just flood again?
And none of us had flood insurance, so.
Dude, okay, I'm not gonna name drop. I'm gonna be nicer because I already got in trouble for posting bad things about them on the
Put
internet.
him on blast, dude.
I tried to put them on blast, and then they hit me with a couple of intimidating emails.
Cease and desist.
But
Is that real?
yeah, they did.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, they really did. They found my post on Reddit.
gosh.
They were like doing a deep dive, I guess. They found my post on Reddit.
No way.
And they were like, we've been made aware of some comments that have been made online. We just want you to know that like these are completely false, and like we're doing everything we can to handle this.
Yeah, we did not completely waterlog all of your possessions. Take it back.
But after that was all said and done, dude, they sent us an email and they were like, "Dear tenants, we just want you to know how important you are to us, and like we recognize what an inconvenience this has been for all of you and how hard this whole situation has been." And mind you, like they also told us like face to face, like, "Yeah, your guys' unit is like the most flooded out of this entire complex. Like this is the worst we've seen." And they sent us this email, right? And they're like, "Because of your inconvenience, we wanted to award your unit one $20 Visa gift card."
Holy, dude.
4 tenants. $5 a piece, dude.
Don't spend it all at once.
I was gonna joke like, we're gonna award you a $15 Arby's gift card, but that's like worse.
Yeah.
Bro, you can't even
Here's
order.
$5 to Dairy Queen.
You can't even order pizza for 4 on $20.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I don't know. I would have rather gotten nothing.
It's a flooded apartment. How much could it cost? $100 Visa gift card?
What did you have? Expensive musical equipment lying on the floor?
Go get yourself a Mr. Fox.
Most of them.
Buy yourself a shelf with this $20 so your shit's not on the floor next time.
With the quality of the shelf is gonna make it end up on the floor. I just can't believe it flooded twice.
Oh well, these were two separate apartments.
Oh,
Yeah, we just have really bad luck.
that's tragic.
Yeah, it was
Jeez.
tough, man.
I feel like that road you live on, just like literally the section where you turn into your apartment, that just area floods like
Oh,
crazy.
it's bad.
Yeah, it's bad. It'll sprinkle, and people will like hydroplane into telephone poles and
Dude,
stuff.
literally, like that road was like wet and everything, and then I got to that turn into your place, and I was just like standing water. I was like, holy crud!
Holy crud, dude, that's a lot of water.
Damn.
I ain't never seen so much goddamn water in my life.
Enough about that. I mean, we just released a new Spawn single recently. It's been about what?
We did
2 weeks now.
Yeah.
2 weeks.
Fire.
808s and Heart Breakdowns.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
Thanks, dog.
You don't have to say that though.
Yeah, because we already know it.
Yeah, we were there. When
Thanks,
we recorded
fan.
it. Couldn't have been done without you, our dedicated fan.
It's been cool watching you guys do rollout for this EP. So how many songs are on the EP total?
5. Yeah.
5.
A lot of deliberation.
Well, we have 6 songs,
Okay.
but one of them's gonna be later release.
Yeah.
Also, can't forget, Paul did the video for that
yeah.
track.
Yeah.
So,
Let's
slap him.
Dude.
Paul killed that video.
Paul
We couldn't have done it
destroyed
without
it.
him. He did
Dude.
exactly what we wanted.
Without Clay, and you were a bunch of just freaking supple clay to work with. You know what I mean? No, that was a super fun video.
My mom does tell me I'm supple.
You told the authorities, Bill. No, but it's cool watching you guys do rollout. Like,
What is supplement?
Like for the listeners,
For those who don't know.
I know what it means, but
but they might not.
there's some idiots.
Like really stupid
Who
guys.
didn't even finish geometry? Where did you learn that?
It's even if it's jobs, you don't know what rocks are. Like, what kind of rocks So it's been cool watching you guys, like, start a band from scratch and see, like, your rollout process now versus, like, I'm thinking back to when we were in, like, the Castle in the Clouds phase, and, like, it's just you guys are way more refined about what you're doing and super smart with how, you know, you've been, like, going single by single and holding all your cards close to your chest, but, like, maximizing every release of that, which is cool. So, yeah.
Trying to, man.
yeah.
It's working, obviously. Like, there's been a lot of really good reception. Like, everything I've seen online has been super positive about all the songs and some really cool playlists. So.
Actually, as of now, I think it just went live, but Hardcore Keem just did a reaction to 808s
Hey!
and
Yeah,
Heart
nice,
Breakdowns.
dude. That's
It went live at 8.
yeah.
Yeah, he DM'd
That's
us last
awesome.
night on Instagram to tell us he was putting up a reaction for it at 8
Awesome.
today.
That's really
Yeah.
cool. Dang, man.
So
yeah.
stoked on that.
I think like it was definitely like a conscious thing we like talked about being like we're not gonna like half-ass anything with this. Like we're gonna make sure this all rolls.
Yeah,
out.
we're not making a Facebook page until we have the single
Yeah.
in hand.
Yeah.
Drop.
Right.
That's such a good mentality. The number of, if you had $1 for every band that like made a band name official@gmail.com before they had like anything ready to go.
Dude, I've never done that before. You've got the wrong guy. I mean, Jezz here and like bands that we were in together. Jezz definitely did that, but like I was like, Jezz, stop that, and she was like, no, Thomas, I got this. But I was the smart one,
Yeah.
so I was never responsible.
And then the page was deleted.
But what are some of the goals and like what's the positioning? Explain to people who haven't heard of Spawn or heard Spawn like what the essence of it is. What's the name from? What are you going for visually, thematically? What's happening?
So the name was really just like we were gonna be called Jaded. Do you guys remember that?
Yeah.
I didn't like that name.
I did. I'm not gonna front. At the time, I was like, Jaded fits the sound we're going for, but no one liked it. They were
Well,
like, that's
okay.
so fucking stupid, and they bullied me relentlessly.
Well,
Nuts!
okay, because
Me, a genius.
okay, when I hear that name though, I think. Do you guys remember the band Mest? They were like a pop punk band.
MEST.
Yeah, they had a song called Jaded. It was like, I'm jaded, stupid, and reckless.
That's us.
Except genius instead of stupid.
That was like all I could think of when like we had to,
Okay,
when you
fair.
came up with that. So I was
But
like,
yeah, so no one liked it, so I was like, well, like I remember thinking of the name Spawn, and I was like, that is nowhere near as cool as Jay did. So I never like threw it out, and then I did, and everyone liked it.
Cody was actually the one who.
Because
threw it
Cody
out,
was in
yeah.
the like sorta in the band for like.
Well, he wasn't even in the band at the point when he like came up with that name. Like he.
Cody didn't come up with that name.
Yeah, he did.
No, I literally looked at a Spawn comic and was like, what about Spawn?
All right.
Facts, dude. I remember this so distinctly because I thought you were going to grill me and you're like, I like that. I was like, no, yeah, that's badass.
Yeah, we were in your house, and no, dude, I swear Cody was the one who was like, "What about Spawn?" And we're like, "Yeah, that'd be sick, like the comic book character." And Cody's like, "Oh, I didn't even know that was like a dude from a comic."
Yeah, well, because like I remember saying it, and then he was like, "Oh, I thought you meant like Halo, like when you spawn in Halo."
I don't know.
No,
I could have swore Cody was the one. Who
Yeah, well, shut your.
Dude, if you don't stop, we're gonna have
You're
to.
remembering wrong, babe.
I can't believe you would sabotage the band like this.
We're gonna have to pay him if you don't shut up.
So you were right that Spawn, it is comic book based. I would also, like Cody, didn't realize that was a comic book character going into this. Is that like what is it? What franchise is it under?
It's under Todd McFarlane. He's just like an independent creator.
Mm.
That was like his claim to fame.
Okay,
That was
gotcha.
one of the only things he had, to my understanding.
And he's sort of like an anti-hero figure, right?
Yeah, pretty
Kinda
much.
like
He basically,
us.
he was like ex-military, and he like dies and goes to hell, but then gets sent back to Earth. But like he's like all fucked up, and he looks shitty, and
Like any good comic book character.
yeah,
Any good
yeah.
anti-hero.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then he like has some like deal with the devil type dealio, and he only has
Just like me.
yeah. But yeah, just cool character, and we like the name, so
Yeah, the comic book art in that series is sweet.
yeah. I've honestly have been a fan of like Todd McFarlane's art for like a long time. I got some of his posters in my room.
Yeah, well you're pretty much all like big comic book people, right?
Yeah.
More or less, yeah.
Yeah. Not dead.
Not really.
Screw
no.
that.
Jen's like, I'm not that gay.
Like, it's cool, but like I never got into it. Not
Yeah.
as much as like they all did,
Yeah.
but
What like got you into heavy music in general? What was your introduction to the genre?
my dad listened to like, you know, the metal bands back in his day, like Metallica, Megadeth kind of stuff, so I just like grew up on that. And then I somehow found like Bullet for My Valentine, I think, and that was like the gateway from that to like literally Bring Me the Horizon, like back in their like nastiest time. So
The
then-
glory days.
Yeah. And then I just went down like a rabbit hole of like nothing but heavy metal bands.
Sounds like you and Joe had a pretty similar like path to heavy music.
Yeah.
That Bullet in particular, I feel like half the people I talk to are like, yo, that was what got me into heavy music, man. It hasn't been.
Dude, I feel it's like Bullet or Avenged Sevenfold, and for me
Yes.
it was Avenged Sevenfold, like at least partially.
In the like school that I grew up in, you were basically like either a Skillet or a Toby Mac fan. But I feel like it's Avenged Sevenfold or Bullet in like the real world, you know?
Yeah. I did like Skillet as well though when I was younger.
Nerd. Do you feel like a monster?
Sometimes.
Sometimes I feel like a monster.
Yeah, but I guess like the essence of the project is just like, I don't know, like with Joe and I, we do like the stuff with Wise Man, so it's very thematic and like, I don't know, we just wanted to like explore like new elements, like kind of like more leaning more towards like the deathcore side of things and like some like trap elements and stuff like that, because we're like, I think all of us are like pretty into trap music or like something similar to that, and we have been for a while. And it's like, if you do it well, the two like blend super
Absolutely.
well.
Yeah.
It's super fun to play.
Also
and
just
listen
like writing some dumb heavy tracks.
to. Yeah,
That's
just
what
ignorant
it is.
stuff. Yeah.
Flashy and heavy. Flashy in the sense like there's like flashy MIDI stuff going on. And there's dumb heavy.
Yeah. Just like stuff that's fun. Like
Oh my gosh, that's the word that comes to mind. It's like just undeniably fun.
Yeah.
Hearing one of those
Exactly.
songs, it's like how can you not just get excited and
It's like we clearly don't take ourselves too seriously. I mean, we have samples from like hentai moans in one of our tracks. So
yeah.
Gotta give the people what they want, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Marketability.
Yep.
How did you guys land on doing like the dual harsh vocals? What was the
Tom is a bad guitarist. So.
I'm not great. I play bass for a reason.
Just bass, bro.
I don't even know. Joe literally just messaged me one day. I think that this was like after. I don't know if it was before or after. I think we were like in the process because we were all in a band before this, and we put out one EP, and it was pretty bad. But that was more like Counterparts like style type shit.
Like a really Counterparts is a stretch. Dude.
Melodic hardcore.
It really wanted to be Counterparts.
Oh, we are.
And then we like started talking about like rebranding to some degree, and then like doing like heavier stuff. And I don't even know if we'd come up with like a new name at that point.
No.
Joe just messaged me.
We already had a couple of songs like recorded, like demoed out and stuff, and we originally recorded them with Tyler, and they was still like under like the Sojourner name, and then we like kind of rewrote those a bit and used them for Spawn.
Yeah, and Joe literally just messaged me on Facebook. He's like, "What if you and Nathan did vocals in this project?" I don't think he'd ever really heard me scream, other than like maybe like a handful of times doing backup vocals at like Wise Man's shows.
Dude, I hadn't either. Like even for Wise Man shows, I could never hear anything in the back anyway. So
Dude, I'm not gonna lie. Like even like leading up to our studio time with Lee, like I still hadn't screamed in front of them,
Yeah,
and I was
no
I was like getting ready to walk into the vocal booth because they were like Lee was like, okay, like get in there, record your parts. I was shitting bricks, dude. I was like nervous. I was like, dude, I don't even know if I sound good enough for this, and like we're already here and paying
it's a
for
special
this.
sort of like absolute vulnerability and nervousness when you're like walking, especially like doing harsh vocals. I feel like singing at least is something that it's like, even if you need to redo a take, it's not because your voice like cracked like mad. It's because like, oh, you know, like tighten up that timing or like get that you're a little pitchy. But with screams, it's like you're just sitting in a room that's completely soundproof, just like like,
And it was even worse too because like at Lee's old place he had
It was just a closet.
It was like a closet,
Yeah.
so like that was fine. Except he had a camera in there, and then a big TV above his desk where everybody in the room could like watch whoever was in the
my
booth.
God.
Yeah.
And I was like, dude, they're watching me, and I can't even see them, and this might sound like shit.
I didn't realize that you started at his old place with that stuff.
Yeah, we were like
Our-
one of the
yeah.
last bands I think to track at his old place.
Holy smokes.
Yeah.
That was
and,
so fun too.
and then one of the
Yeah.
first bands to track once he got the new studio too.
Yeah.
Yeah, we hopped on the Albert train at a good time.
Yeah.
No kidding.
Absolutely.
Shout out Lee, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. he-
An absolute wizard. He's
Yeah.
so good.
He's pretty hot too, so
Yeah.
you know.
Dude, that whole house is just like kings, man.
I know. It's
Yeah.
really
Yeah.
Next,
Yeah, shout out Frankie Mish. He did the EP artwork for us for
Shout
Oh,
Spawn.
yeah.
Shout out
Yeah.
Jordan.
And the logo.
Yeah, he did our logo as well. Yeah.
Jordan.
Jordan.
On the track too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Freaking
Jordan
house.
Radvansky.
I wonder, do they sell like a package deal where it's just like
They should.
And it was like we got this stuff from Frankie a little bit cheaper because we recorded with Lee. Like,
Really?
they were doing like it was like something that they were talking about doing, and we like brought it up I think to Frankie, and he like maybe knocked a couple bucks off.
that's cool.
Yeah,
And he killed the art too.
Oh,
He did
yeah.
exactly what we
he did a
wanted.
phenomenal job.
Every person in that house is so at the top of the game.
They seriously
Yeah.
are, dude. They're
just
so
setting the
great at
pace
what
for
they do.
everybody else.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's a really cool sound, and I feel like you guys have like a really cool image too. Like I don't know how intentional it is, but you sort of have the like it's not cyberpunk, but it's like a little bit like futurism-ish, like with the way that the single art album art, all that stuff.
Like streetwear, cyberwear type
Yes,
dealio.
exactly. Yeah, I think that's cool, and like especially for metal, I feel like so much of metal is like dragging its heels, trying to like stay in the 80s, and there's like a lot of people that are super resistant to any form of like, even like metalcore still has a ton of haters, but it's like within metalcore, it's like, all right, no, we do the swoopy hair and the tight jeans, we stay in like what we know and
Yeah.
in the heyday, and it's refreshing to see, Thomas, like you're saying, like the trap infusion and all this stuff that's just like pushing it into, you know, the Brave New World, like trying to break it up a little bit from the A7X rehash.
Yeah.
Yeah, what is like your guys' inspiration, or what do you like? What makes you decide to like sit down and write a riff or to create a song?
I don't know. I think it's mostly just whenever I'm feeling it. I never ever force it.
Yeah, same.
Interesting.
Like Joe did pretty much all the writing for this first EP that we're putting out, but like
guitar, lyrics, like pretty much everything. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I think so.
I think
Tom
Nathan and I did
like,
lyrics for
yeah,
one song.
Yeah, and we like had some input in other songs.
Yeah,
some of them were like old lyrics too. So like, but like I'd say like 80-90% of it was Joe.
Yeah, but like even still, like kind of same for me. Like I've been trying to like demo stuff, especially once we like really establish that we want to have like hip hop elements and stuff like that. Because when I sit down to produce stuff, that's just like kind of what comes naturally to me first. Because I like messed around with it for so long and like making beats. So like I don't know, whenever I'll like hear something heavy, I'll be listening to heavy music. It's like I really want to sit down and write something right now, and I'll like demo out like 40 seconds for like a song idea or something, and throw some heavy ass guitar on it, throw some 808s on it, a little trap bridge or something.
Spark breaks on it.
Yeah.
That's sick.
Yeah.
Joe, what's the like center for the lyricism, or is it just like general life stuff? Is there even consistency between songs, or are they all just sort of like addressing different stuff?
Yeah, no, it's all different. I don't know.
I feel like a lot of it's like pissed off, kind of.
Yeah,
it's just like,
and like to me, like lyrics are like half as important as delivery and cadence.
Yeah.
So like, I don't know. Like I'll just like for like crawl. Like I think one of the first things I had for that was like the breakdown that says crawl, and just like as I was writing it, I just heard, and then just turned that into lyrics.
Yeah, you know, it's funny. That's like kind of similar to how Nathan describes his creative process for like clean vocals. Is he'll hear a melody and he'll kind of like and have like a couple placeholder words that make no sense.
yeah, he told me he always like writes a melody before he writes lyrics.
Yeah.
Like he'll MIDI it out and stuff like that. So he'll hear the melody and then like put words to that melody, which is super smart. That helped me a lot when I would talk to him about like songwriting and stuff. He was like, dude, always write your melody before you write your lyrics, because if you're writing your lyrics first, then like you're gonna try to force it to work. And, like,
dude, yeah. I feel like that's a problem, or like an obstacle that we have to push past for Wise Man's a lot. Is like I'll have these like ideas for lyrics that, I always default to like a really limericky like and it like follows the same cadence. So it's like super helpful to have like your input with the delivery, with the metering and all that stuff to come and be like, no, this is gonna hit way harder if we like put a gap here and then just really come in
and even with Wise Man's, I feel like when people are in and out of the vocal booth, like we'll be sitting there like tweaking the lyrics even then sometimes to like make them make more sense. Like until they're recorded, they're constantly being changed to like actually work.
Seriously, yeah. Like, you know, there were plenty of songs that we did like full-fledged demos for going into the studio that had like vocal roughs and everything like that, and then it's like Joe would step in there and say something, it's like, ooh, you know, like that felt way cooler, like whatever you just did, and you know, you go off the cuff sometimes. It's like, all right, that, you know, like whatever just feels good has to stay.
For sure. But yeah, not like there's not really any lyrical concepts. Like it's hard to write anything that's not angry over like double D.
Yeah.
So
I would go
like
so far
angry
as to say you probably shouldn't, you know?
Right. I guess like drone, there's a little bit of that, but I didn't do all of that one. I think that was mostly you guys.
Yeah. Me and Tom sat down in the studio and hammered that one out. Yeah.
So how did that work between the two of you collaborating? Because that's a weird process that I don't think many people have to ever like take a stab at, is co-writing lyrics.
With that one, I think like leading up to that session, we had like the instrumental demo, and we were like, okay, so like this is the only one we don't have lyrics for. So before we went in, I had like a couple different like scratch ideas for like verses and stuff. And then like Nathan also had some stuff. We just sat down and like picked through what we liked and tried to like.
And then we
mesh
like
them
took
together.
what we had and brought it to Joe, and we're like, here you go, like. And Joe's like, this works, this doesn't. Like, let's change this kind of thing, and kind of just like hashed it out. So.
That's cool.
And then Tom got drunk and rolled around on the floor and said "fuck you" when I asked him to continue helping.
What?
Do you remember that?
I remember that. Joe looked at me and he's like, it's times like these I remember Tom's age.
No, don't remember. Yeah, we'll wait, Paul. We'll wait.
Yep, we'll wait.
You're pretty much carrying this whole thing here, dude.
Sorry, I forgot I'm the only one who's allowed to talk, dude.
Yeah. We don't know how to talk if you're not in the room.
That's fair.
Yeah.
So if any corporations out there listening want to sponsor us,
Yeah.
we might let you do that.
Give us money.
Yeah.
No, I'm not taking it.
I'm not gonna sell out, dude. I am passionate about this music.
I would literally never accept money for music. It's art. It should be free.
This is for the people. The people need to hear this.
They're begging for it. They keep asking.
Softly, the cover with the anime moans playing in the background. It's for the greater good.
That's that shit right there.
Play that number.
That one was so good, we're gonna run it back.
Jezz, what's the best part about being in Spawn?
Oh, dude, it's them for sure because, like, I'm pretty quiet, so I'm just entertained by all of their shenanigans all fucking day long.
I can't remember. It must have been like the last session that you guys had with Lee, but I was like in Grand Rapids for some reason. And
You came up with us because Wiseman's was about to go to him for the first time.
Yeah, we were like scouting it out to see if it was a good.
I think we started tracking through Inferno during that session.
Yeah, we did. But yeah, I just remember like seeing you chilling out on the couch, just like a smirk on your face. And these boys were all doing their thing.
Yeah, it's Jezz is in a nice spot where like she gets the entertainment of us, but she's not like mixed in with like the bullshit we're doing.
She at any point could feasibly say, "Sorry, I'm not with these guys."
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, 100%.
I would say the Spawn studio vibe is.
Devilman Crybaby.
I was gonna say Nathan watching some absurd, not even absurd. He just watches anime scenes on the couch, and then this one guy will just randomly make some stupid ass joke and get in shenanigans.
And then I would get on Nathan's PS4 and put hentai on the TV and then blame
Oh
Nathan.
yeah, dude.
Morale's
Yeah,
important.
I am still certain Lee thinks I'm the one who was like watching hentai because he just comes downstairs at night and there's just like fucking hentai playing on the TV and he's just like, all right, and like goes back upstairs.
It's the kid with the anime shirts for sure.
He's like, he 100% thought it was me, but Tom literally did it like every night we're in the fucking studio. He's like, so we're watching hentai tonight, guys. And like pulls it up on the web browser.
During one of the last nights, we watched this show called Devilman Crybaby. It's this really absurd, overly sexual anime about like this high schooler who has the devil in him.
Yeah, he becomes a demon basically.
Yeah, and
but
there's
he's a good demon.
Yeah,
he's
good.
fighting the evil demons.
But there's a lot of fucking, and Cody's watching it, and he's like really quiet, and he's like, are you in high school? I don't know, and he's like, well, like, would this be like child porn? And we were like, I don't think that's what that is, man. He's like, I'm gonna leave. And then he went to the bathroom for the rest of the night.
Cody Chambers, can you take a comment on that?
Yeah, Cody, why me?
So when can we expect the EP? The whole thing's done, right? You've been dropping singles. You have 3 out, yeah?
Yeah.
I do have 3 out, yeah.
Do you have a plan yet for the full release, or are you still engaging and responding to reaction?
Low key, I think we're gonna drop all of them as singles, as
Nice.
most bands should, and
I agree.
just leave like one for the EP. We're talking about maybe dropping the cover next. Possibly. Nothing set in stone.
Mm-hmm.
Playing it by ear.
Yeah. We're still kind of gauging response and still trying to like make a push for 808s. I'm working on stuff with that still, and like we kind of want to, I guess for lack of a better term, like really milk it.
Yeah,
Like, milk that single.
That's
until,
that's what you have to do nowadays, and something that it's hard to communicate to people. We were talking about this, like I feel like Mike and maybe Mogi and I were talking about this the other night, where we were basically just going into how like the purpose of releasing singles back in the day used to be like, all right, we need to convince X hundred thousands of people that they need to purchase a hard copy of a CD when it comes out. So we're gonna like basically, drip feed them 3 great songs to try to convince them the whole thing's really good, so they buy it sight unseen. And now it's like nobody's buying it, which is fine.
Yeah.
So like, why would you use that old methodology still?
Yeah, I feel like I've seen so many people complaining about it too, that just like for some reason do not understand that it's like pretty much necessary for bands to drop a lot of singles now.
Yeah.
It's like, it just clutters it up. Just like drop albums like you used to. It's like, do you want us to be able to keep making albums? Because we're not going to make any money if we don't do things this way.
And practically speaking too, it's like, all right, the only difference is if they visit your profile, they have to scroll like one more line before they find find
Yeah.
the full album.
It's literally
They're all
people
there.
complaining about that. It's like it just clutters up your Spotify. Like, why do you need all these singles on here? It's like,
I've also heard people complain just like, oh, well, like, I don't want to listen to, like, an album if I've already heard most of the tracks on it already. Like, something...
You've already heard most of the tracks on it.
Yeah, like, I don't know.
Why not?
Yeah, it's I think it's a dumb complaint.
It's like-
but also it's like, okay, then don't listen to them until the full thing's out then. Like, if
Yeah,
you're,
exactly.
if you're that person who doesn't want to hear
Yeah,
it.
nobody's
like,
holding a phone to your ear.
exactly, yeah.
also though, like, you're like completely dismissing. Because like, what are you gonna do if it drops as an album as a whole? Like, are you not going to go back and re-listen to the tracks you liked from that? So
Yeah.
like, what makes a difference if you're dropping them as singles? Like,
Yeah.
listen to the ones you like. Don't listen to the ones you don't like. I feel like it makes it a little easier even to weed out what you do and don't like throughout the whole like span of the drops.
And I mean, from an artist standpoint too, like you get, so it's almost, when people say, oh, it's annoying that your profile's all cluttered up with all these individual singles, it's almost an incentivizer to keep doing it, because it's like, oh well, I guess you'll have to add it to a playlist and like the song so it stays in your library,
Yeah.
So yeah, it kind of is frustrating fighting the old school line of thinking at times, but it's amazing the number of people that are like, dude, they're just gonna like spoil the whole album. It's like, what do you mean spoil it?
Yeah,
Like, you're
right.
gonna go sit there on your phone and listen to it for free when it comes out.
Yeah.
This isn't Inception. It's
Yeah,
an album.
exactly. It's
Like, I think you said this in the studio, but it's like, pretty much if you drop like 5 singles and you have like a 10-song album, you're just like putting those extra 5 songs on the album to die.
basically,
Yeah.
I mean,
It's-
you'll get your like hardcore listeners who will go through and dig through it all, but it's like, what people don't realize is the release radar for most artists is like bigger than getting a placement on like a Spotify editorial.
yeah.
Like even through Inferno, it's like that got on the new core list, which was awesome, but like the week that it came out, Release Radar kicked its ass. Like it did a lot more for streaming numbers.
Yeah, release radar is like the most important thing with like putting out new
And
tracks.
if you can flip that lever 10 times instead of 3,
Yeah.
like why would you not do that?
Yeah.
We definitely saw that on the new Spawn track.
Yeah.
The Release Radar was like the biggest
It's
thing
been
for us.
really
sure.
good because I feel like release radar really like pumped up the plays, like the stream count, and then also like playlisting stuff has like helped a lot to like maintain that monthly listener count, because like after
Yeah.
we dropped like Crawl, we saw like a spike in our monthly listeners, and then it kind of just like slowly dwindled
Yeah.
down back
Yeah.
down again. But like since we dropped this, like it's been like steady cruising above like 2,000 monthly listeners, which is like good considering like
Oh
3
my
weeks
gosh,
ago
yeah.
we were at like 300 or 400 monthly listeners.
And it's so hard to cut through the noise right now because everybody's making this mad grab for any
Yeah.
attention they can get for releasing stuff.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, man, it's really weird. Like, kind of like we were talking about earlier, and when we put out like the Castle stuff, like it was a different landscape completely. Spotify existed, but not in the way that we know it now. Like,
Oh, I didn't have a
playlisting-
Spotify account at that point.
Yeah, I had one, and I was like an early adopter because my aunt texted me about it. She's like, hey, there's this like Swedish service called Spotify. You can listen to songs for free. It's like, oh, that's pretty cool. But yeah, like playlisting didn't exist. It was all still about like YouTube promotion and
Yeah, YouTube was where you would gauge a band's success
yeah.
for sure.
And now it's funny, like I almost like don't think YouTube matters at all. Just not at all, but like relative to 5 years ago,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
so much less important.
100%.
Like people don't realize, like
Especially because they don't pay you anything.
they don't, man. Like before anything else, they take 40% of revenue right off the rip, and even then, their revenue payouts are lower than other people. So you're
Yeah,
getting
significantly.
yeah, you're getting well under half of what other services are giving you. I can't remember what there's some site where you can plug in a raw number of streams and it'll give an estimate of each platform. And actually, Tidal was the highest, like per stream they pay out the highest.
Tidal pays
I
really
remember
well
that,
because
yeah.
they do like the high fidelity stuff, and they're like, I want to say that service is like $20 a month, which is like, dude, we had like a debate about this in one of my music industry classes, and they were like, who's gonna pay for Tidal when like you can pay for like Spotify for like $7? It's like, they're not targeting the same market.
Not at all.
Like,
yeah.
Tidal isn't for like the general consumer. That's for like
No.
audiophiles. That's its own corner in the market. It's a completely separate thing, and I feel like
Right.
people don't realize that. But yeah, I mean, when we dropped the last Wise Man's album, like we got put on the cover of one of Tidal's metalcore playlists. That was dope, and I feel like that probably did at least decent.
Oh, yeah.
For Tidal anyway, because I know their listener, their their customer base isn't like huge, but
Yeah, I think I plugged in a dummy like just 1,000 base streams or something on this website, and I feel actually I don't want to just like completely put this on the cuff. Let's see. But yeah, I seem to remember that like for 1,000 streams, Spotify was paying like $4, and Apple Music was like 4.5 or something like that. Like they were a bit ahead, and then Deezer paid more than that, and then Tidal paid more than that. YouTube was somewhere like
you said for
way
1,000.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tidal pays about $12 per 1,000 plays, whereas Spotify pays $4. Apple Music pays $5.
Yep. Amazon 5, Deezer 4.7.
And then YouTube pays $1.75.
Right. Like what in the hell? But I think YouTube has just gotten sort of like they're the incumbent. They're sitting on their haunches a little bit because they know they have the power.
Yeah, dude.
Does anybody know what Groove Music is?
That's just Microsoft's native. Like if you have a Windows computer, that's what it plays
Really?
through. Which nobody buys.
I
You
was
guys
gonna
remember
say-
Rhapsody?
Yeah, dude.
What is it?
Rhapsody?
Rhapsody?
Yeah, was that what it was?
Oh, Rhapsody.
Rhapsody, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I still have a Rhapsody gift card somewhere that's definitely expired.
Are they not bankrupt yet?
Probably are, I would guess.
Is
Yeah.
Napster still a thing? Like actually?
I don't know.
I thought
Wasn't
Metallica like
Awesome, dude.
what? No, I just thought they went under like
What about Amazon Music?
I don't
You ever
know.
heard of iTunes? How about YouTube?
I've heard that one.
That
I've
one's
heard
awesome.
that one. Yeah, there's like
God, I hate you.
there's like videos on that one, right?
Wasn't Rhapsody like Zune's like?
Oh my gosh.
Was it?
I thought so.
They might have been linked.
Yeah.
I've
I remember
only-
they had their own like marketplace.
Yeah.
I have only met one person ever with a Zune.
Was it Nathan
Nathan?
Kane?
I've met two people with a Zune.
Dude, he rode that Zune out, man.
I know.
Like, he had it for a long time.
Oh, did it finally kick the bucket on him?
Eventually, after I think it was like close to 10 years. Like that thing worked for
Yeah.
forever.
I always thought those things were like cool looking.
Yeah.
They weren't. They got shat on by like everybody, but they weren't that bad to be honest.
Yeah.
Like
One thing that I thought was cool about it, and that one of my friends in like elementary school showed me, was like if you would download like one of your CDs onto whatever their software was, Rhapsody or whatever, and then put it on your Zune, it would also digitally download like all of the art for like the booklets and stuff like that, and
yeah.
put it in like a folder in the album, so you could like look at all the special album artwork and like the booklets and stuff on your Zune, which iPods were not doing at the
That
time.
is cool. Frostwire sometimes did that for you, but
Really?
like it wouldn't transfer to your iPod or anything.
Huh.
Yeah.
yeah, with iTunes you had to go through and manually like download the image from online, upload it, and
Yeah.
force your iPod to accept it.
It's so dumb.
Dude, I absolutely obliterated my home computer with FrostWire and LimeWire.
Oh hell yeah.
I'm sorry, Mom.
Nathan, what's this Trojan horse doing here?
Trojan horse.
It's from hentai, I swear.
Don't call the FBI, Mom. It's a crime.
Everyone here had an iPod Nano, right?
I actually didn't.
I didn't either. Some of my siblings had.
Well, you were definitely you had some kind of like portable MP3.
Yeah, I had the Samsung competitor.
Yeah.
Mine was like
I
a
also
really,
had a Samsung MP3 player.
Yeah, I
That
think
thing-
like a YT9. It was some super uncatchy name, but it was actually pretty good.
Yeah, mine
decent.
mine lasted a while. I
Uh-huh.
remember. Yeah.
Mine was like a little Toshiba MP3 player that didn't even have like a color screen on it. And I went straight from that to like an iPod Touch, and I felt like I was on top of the world when I got
Me
that iPod
too.
Touch.
Holy smokes!
What
man.
a time to be alive, man. Like, the novelty has since worn off so hard, but when those came out, it was the coolest thing to have ever.
Oh my
That was
gosh.
next level.
Yeah,
Seriously.
it really was.
I was downloading apps that I never even used just because I was like, well, what if I want like a tip calculator?
Yeah,
And I'm in like high school, it's like I'm never going to this game.
It's like, why would I not want this Zippo app where I can pretend to light a Zippo
I
lighter?
had that
I did too.
Everybody had that.
It's the dumbest thing, but
And there was the one that was like, it would like fill up and look like a glass of beer or something,
Yeah.
and you would just tip it back and drink it.
Oh my god.
Um,
That's so funny.
they were drunk on power in those days. Man. The app developers were out of
The
control.
Wild West, dude.
I remember one of the first apps that I got that I was like so fascinated by was a text to speech app. because there was like a specific app for it, and it was like groundbreaking because it wasn't like a staple on every electronic device yet.
Right, yeah.
So I would just like type shit in and be like, oh my god, it said boobs.
Boobs.
What happens if I type in ASS?
It was also super glitchy though, so like sometimes you'd type in a word, it would literally just be like ass instead of ass.
Like that thing we did with Kanye and the
That was amazing. That was okay. So again, going to your rollout strategy, which I've been a big fan of. You guys have done like cool stuff for release. That was a really funny way to turn around. Like, I think a lot of bands would have been pissed if they had to delay a release due to like circumstances out of it.
Oh, we were pissed.
Like, they would have taken that just off and be like,
Yeah, for sure.
but that was like such a great way to just like take it in stride and run with it.
Yeah. I feel like when like we come up with like kind of like silly dumb ideas and we're like, what if we did this? And then like we're just kind of like, yeah, let's just do it. Like it's funny, like
Yeah.
why not? You know, like that was the same thing with like the hentai moaning thing where it was like, because the original like version of that song like has the moaning in it, and we're like, do we do the moans? Do we not do the moans?
And if so, like, who's gonna go in the booth?
Yeah.
It's like, where are we gonna get those samples?
Yeah. But we're like, what if we did hentai moans? And we're like, let's just fucking do it. Like,
Dude, and let me tell you, Lee was pissed.
Oh, man.
I was actually there for that.
Yeah.
Because
I saw part of his soul die.
he
Yeah, he was
downloaded.
not happy about
he
that.
downloaded like a 2-hour compilation
yeah, we
of
sent it to
hentai
him.
moans.
He's like, just send it to me. Like he was not happy.
And he downloaded it and he went through until he found moans that matched the exact pitch of the ones from the original song.
It was supposed to show like the kind of work
He cuts.
Oh, yeah.
He does not cut any corners, dude.
in a weird way.
Yeah.
And he wasn't happy about it, but he was putting in the work. He was not sacrificing any quality.
Thorough, man.
Yeah.
The video was literally like hentai moan ASMR. It was like 2 hours long.
Oh man.
Who fuck goes to sleep to hentai?
Yeah, who does that?
Yeah. We're gonna find the guy who did this.
We're all trying to find the guy who falls asleep to hentai moans.
Hentai Hub, X Hentai. These are names I
Hentai
know better
Hub.
than my own grandmother.
Hentai Haven.
Homemade
Anime.
stuff. Oh my gosh, that I think watching the second season of I Think You Should Leave in the Studio has got to be one of my favorite like memories,
Oh my god.
just of life in general, but from that studio time for sure, or from any studio time. That's so fun,
I was rolling at the sloppy steaks, dude.
dude. That show's incredible.
I want to make it clear too for everybody that watching something funny becomes a million times funnier if you watch it with Joe.
Oh yeah.
Joe's like, yep.
Oh yeah.
Like, I'll watch things on my own and I'll be like, I will laugh audibly, but it's like, it feels weird to laugh at something when you're by yourself.
Dude, yeah,
but
most
it's
of the time
like,
I won't even. I'm just kind of like, you know, like,
Yeah.
get the flat-faced nose snort.
I know
Like,
few people who have laughter as contagious as Joe.
It's
so-
also like one of the most validating things to say something and have Joe laugh.
Oh,
at it.
yeah. Those are the
I should have kept a straight face on that.
Sure it is, buddy.
I'll keep that in mind. Oh man.
No, that was so much fun. I love season 2.
Yeah, that whole studio session was really cool. I'm glad that we got the record done while we were there, though. Like, it would have mentally, I feel like it's always like it takes some sort of mental toll if you're like, all right, we have to go back and do more work just to get this same. Like, we can't do anything, release anything until we go back and finish up what we
I
started.
can't start mixing anything.
Yeah,
it's all
exactly.
limbo.
Uh-huh.
I feel that. I was super stoked to get that wrapped up at a, like, when you think about it, a really decent amount of time.
No kidding.
Like, we weren't, what is it? Usually probably like a year for us to do an album.
I mean,
Like, over the course of a year, of course.
oh yeah, I mean, best case scenario. But this was like, we had a song released and then we recorded a whole new album in a year, which is pretty unheard of for us. You know, I feel like normally it takes like at least 2 years for us to get from start to release on something.
I mean, what was the gap between Lost City and Valley?
Dude, that
Bigger
was.
than it feels like, I think.
I was gonna say, I think that was actually like 3, like maybe over.
Because
3.
I think Lost City came out in 2017.
Which, if we're being honest, I was kind of surprised that people.
Thanks, Van.
Well, no, I just because that release show was like 4 years ago next month. Yeah.
Oh yeah, no that was coming. That's coming up.
Yeah, next month. That's what I just said.
Well, just that.
I couldn't remember. I just got the memory about like
it's
the
validating
announcement.
because something.
Dude, I thought people are just gonna completely forget and not care about us after 3 years of not putting anything out. Like, we weren't super active on socials that time either.
Dude, I feel that. I really didn't know what to expect, I guess, because I was like, man, it's been a minute since we've dropped anything. Are people going to remember us? Like, because we weren't, like, bless the fall. By any stretch of the imagination.
Dude, that's the thing, is we had this, like, tiny little ripple of people that we reached for, both the first and second records, and it's like, oh, man.
And I was one of them.
So sorry.
That's tragic.
No, but it really felt like, man, are we just, like, washed up, like... zero metalcore band.
Well, we are.
Yeah, but
it doesn't feel that way when I stare at the numbers.
4 people listening now.
There's 22.
And a person in Germany. Yes.
Yes.
Dude, when you one of the shows you guys played here, I remember Joe was like, "Thanks for being Wise Man's biggest fan." I'm like, someone's got to do it.
I miss shows here, man.
Penthouse shows were the best shows.
Dude,
We always
absolutely.
wanted like Spawn's like first show to be here.
That was
That was like the way to go.
I still want to do like a uber delayed Valley of Kings release show here.
Oh,
like,
here?
Yeah, I
Freaking
mean,
awesome, dude.
yeah, I need to talk with like Mogi and his parents to see like how they feel from a liability standpoint. But it sounded like they were saying if it was like bands of people who live in the house, they were okay with it. So potentially it could happen, but like, yeah, it sucked that we never got to do like any direct support touring of that record. It's a bummer.
So people who live in the house as bands, you want to join Spawn, dude?
No, not
Dude.
Man.
Yeah, you're right. Like, we haven't played a show at all since Valley came out. We probably won't until we start dropping more from the album.
I think,
which is funny.
we just played like a handful of shows like here and there. We played a few shows here like after Valley, after Lost City. But we hadn't played anything for a while before Valley came out. We haven't played since.
I was gonna say it came out like in the heat of lockdown, so it was impossible. But
yeah.
It's like literally the worst time to drop an album
seriously,
at all.
yeah. I mean, at least from a support standpoint, I still think that we probably got like more eyeballs on it because of COVID than if we had dropped it in like normal times. But that's like there's ultimately no way to compare, But I don't know. I feel like everybody's sitting at home strapped for new music and whatever. Yeah, there's just boredom in mind.
Absolutely. There's a lot of like good new stuff coming out too soon here.
Dude, Sleepwaker just dropped.
Oh yeah.
Shout out
and
the
then,
boys.
I think what is it like September, October is that Spirit Box album.
Oh, and Sleep Token is dropping in September, I think.
Yeah.
We talked about that on the lead singer syndrome.
Bleep that out. Bleep that out. No shouting out other podcasts. But
unless it's Rogan.
They had said that there's like, I think it's like September 17th, like a load of bands are just dropping a lot of music.
Yeah.
I'm stoked on new Spirit Box and Sleep Token, man. Those are two of my favorite bands in the scene.
Those are gonna be like album of the year contenders, I think.
For sure. Yeah, just with what's out right now, what would be your album of the year so far? If you had to.
Brain of Sacrifice.
Ooh, that's a.
They're dropping more music this year.
Yeah, they just posted like a teaser.
I love everything about how they do rollout, branding, marketing, 100% on the money. It's perfect.
They're also all like gods.
Yes. Yeah, they're all like amazing at what they're doing musically, and then they all like produce and like do digital art and like marketing experts and all this stuff. Yeah, right.
Dude, I don't even know what my
vocal
like
lessons.
Oh yeah, you took one from Kyle, didn't you?
Yeah.
I don't even
You
know.
said he was really rude and he just wanted to yell?
Yeah. And I was like, this guy yells. No, he was super cool.
He seemed like an awesome.
It wasn't even just vocal lessons too. He was also just giving me like band advice and stuff like
That's
that too.
cool.
Yeah, so he's a really like genuine dude.
You would say you're like best friends with him now.
I don't know. I don't think that's too much to say. Yeah, I would. I would say so. I even think he may have said that.
I think. I don't know.
Yeah.
Pretty sure.
I might.
Don't bring it up to him, but I think he said that.
Might have screen recorded the whole thing.
I got it on a DVD at home.
I printed it.
I just popped it.
Cover on it.
It's like a terrible Photoshop, like you and Kyle with your arms, right?
I pop it in when I'm feeling down.
Hey, Nathan, you are my best friend.
You just memorize everything Kyle says to you and just like say different things to make it feel like a new conversation.
I'm trying to think of heavy albums that have come out this year already.
Doesn't have to be heavy, but
Dude, the new Tyler the Creator album is up there for me. I love that album so much.
Dude.
I think it's his best album. Hot take maybe,
Yeah.
but I think it's his best album. I love
was
it.
that Igor?
No, Call Me If You Get Lost. Igor came out a couple years ago.
I wasn't huge on that one.
It was a weird
I'm
like.
so behind.
I feel like Igor was like cool, like as its own thing. Like it was like an artistic like statement piece kinda, but like in terms of like his whole discography, it's like I forget about it a lot. Like I tend to forget he even dropped that album.
Did you know that Fit for a King has dropped like 3 or 4 albums since the one with I want to say Death Grip?
They've dropped 2 albums since then.
Yeah.
Which one was Death Grip? Which one? Did
That
they have Cold
was-
Room on it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it was just called Death Grip.
Yeah, that was the name of
And
it.
then they had Dark Skies, and
Yeah.
now just recently put out The Path. But then they did like that collab with APR.
Mm-hmm.
It was like a
They
split.
did one with Silent Planet too, but not. It was just like one song. And We Came as Romans, I want to say.
Yeah. Which honestly, like, so I'm not huge on the last like album or 2 that Fit has put out, but I will say I'm really excited about them shaking up the standard for the scene and how they're doing these like split EPs and like send us your song, we'll like swap like vocal swap on it and all that stuff. Like I feel like that's something Johnny was always harping on back in the day that metal is missing, is like that collaboration and like cross pollination.
Absolutely.
You get it, look at
Everyone has egos, dude.
for some reason, yeah.
Yeah.
You're like, well, I have like 200,000 monthly listeners.
Yeah.
And then you like look at a rap album and it's like they'll have 7 features just because everybody is like excited about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just one of those things where it's like, why not do it? You know
Seriously,
what I mean? Like, it's
yeah.
just like, it's fun, it's a cool idea.
It was
Like,
Are we talking
Yeah.
collaborations?
yeah.
Dude, I saw like somebody talking about this in like Chango. Like somebody was like, "Oh, this band put out this album. There's so many features on it. Like, why do we need all this?" And like people like somebody in the comments was like, "Dude, this is exactly why like metal does not get like televised for the Grammys and stuff like that. Like everybody is like so gatekeepy and like up their own asses about it that
It's
they
one
like."
of the most gatekeeping communities.
Yeah.
Dude, I cannot think of many that are worse.
For no apparent reason either. It's like, what is there? Like, it's really frustrating to think that it's like, all right, this all sort of stemmed from like the punk hardcore scene ultimately way back in the day. It's like that was all built around inclusion and like upsetting the status quo and all that stuff, and it's just turned into like a new way to like signal to people they're not welcome, or that like the way that it's being done is how it has to be done. I love Finn McKenty's YouTube videos and podcast stuff on.
Yeah.
He just has so many well-researched examples of like heavy music, and he's like borderline historian on this stuff. But he'll talk about all these bands that like shook stuff up, gotten a tremendous amount of hate from people, and then it's like 10 years later they're these canonized saints that everyone's like, oh, honestly, like Linkin Park was the best thing that ever happened. You know, at the time people were like, you can't do rap and rock. You're doing it wrong.
Dude, I feel like people are kind of coming around to Limp Bizkit now after all these
Oh
years.
my gosh, yes.
Dude,
And
big fan.
they got so much hate, and like they still get hate for sure, but
Dude,
like
yeah.
they got shit on more than most bands.
They definitely still get a bunch of hate because, like, I remember Spirit Box had to make a statement because they were doing that little run with them. They had to be like, stop making fun of Limp Bizkit. Like, they were like, like we like this band, we enjoy touring with them. Like, you need to respect them because people were just like giving them shit. Yeah.
Wow, that's a huge whole new audience for Spirit Box to play.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Why would anyone be mad about
Like
that?
that's huge. It's like
I was stoked.
like
as fuck.
Spirit Box is like one of those bands where it's like the average Limp Bizkit fan is not going to like actively look into music like that.
Sure,
but
yeah.
the people who are coming out to see Limp Bizkit are definitely going to hear that and be like, "Oh, this is sick. I will listen to it now that I
Right.
know this."
Yeah.
So it's like
Yeah,
it's
that's
kind of a
actually
genius
really
play.
intelligent pairing. for
Yeah.
that, which I would have never called it, but
And also good for Limp Bizkit in the sense that it's like, oh, like everybody who's like kind of on the fence about them or acts like they don't like them
Yeah.
is like, oh, they're touring with Spirit Box, so like I guess they're cool again. So
it's
like,
like a
I
little bit
can
of credit,
like them. Yeah.
And also it's like they're finding fresh blood, which means that at least like they're not stagnating, even if some of their fans are.
Yeah, Fred Durst seems like pretty plugged in. I've seen him like tag a handful of like smaller like rappers and bands on his story before, but
Also, he seems like a good dude.
he
Like-
seems weird as hell. But he does seem like a pretty like,
I don't really know anything about him. Like,
dude, his whole like when I followed him, I didn't even know if I was following the right account. The only
Oh,
reason-
dude,
because,
yeah.
like, it's literally all like Volvo pics. That's all it is. It's like and his bio just says confused, aren't ya? So
gosh.
yeah, I was just like,
Dude.
is this Fred Durst? I looked at his story and he had like a selfie after like 2 weeks of me following him. I was like, I guess this is him, dude.
He just kind of embodies like early 2000s MTV. Like,
Yeah,
to a T.
that is
yeah, he
so
kind of parked
true.
there
I
and
think that may be why they got a little hate.
Yeah.
oh yeah.
He definitely seems like he's chilled out a bit over the last 20 years because like he definitely seems like a total D-bag. Like
Yeah.
I mean, who wouldn't be though? Like,
Fair enough, dude.
Also-
It was popping at one.
They had like the most like stereotypical like angsty middle schooler lyrics, and like I mean their music kind of like embodied like Gene Code jeans and like
For
shit
sure.
like that.
Yeah.
sort of like a cop than a juggalo. No, but I mean, I think what people fail to realize is like if you were in Fred Durst's shoes in his Osiris like puffy tongue shoes, and you had just like all this money and notoriety dropped on you, like he was a cultural personality. Like he had MTV shows that were like just him popping up and like doing stuff completely unrelated to music. He was on everything. You'd see him constantly.
As far as like all the mainstream rappers.
Yeah.
And also, like,
how would you not
Yeah.
like, let that go to your head a little bit?
Yeah.
You know?
I feel that.
Impossible, dude.
Right. If you think you wouldn't, then
And he's young
probably
too
right.
at this point. Probably was like
Exactly.
mid-20s, like
Exactly.
All right, real quick roll call. Who all at this table owned a pair of Osiris's at one
Oh,
point?
for sure.
I did
Those
not.
were
I
the
did.
sickest shoes.
You weren't allowed to?
I had
Yeah.
DC.
Mike, you never had any?
I had DC.
What was the dress code?
I also had
Dude, it was
DCs.
like I can't remember specifically, but I think like you could wear tennis shoes on most days, but then like Thursdays you had to wear dress shoes or something. But it was like they had to be like reasonable, like
Yeah.
professional looking tennis shoes.
Nothing like too eye grabbing.
Yeah.
Did you wear like Vans and shit?
You could. I remember the craziest thing that people, myself included, would do to try to like be a little edgy was wear those like indoor soccer cleats that had like the crazy like color schemes and like the tongue sticking way out and whatever. But yeah, it was pretty hardcore.
Well, that's a shame. You would have looked sick.
He was so fucking cool, dude.
I would have had so few regrettable MySpace selfies.
All about Osiris.
Dude, I'm honestly glad that like A, my parents didn't let me have social media till I was like late high school. B, we didn't have the bandwidth for it. Like
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
they still get like
yeah.
they still get like 2 megabytes down on a good day out there.
Yeah, oh, it's bad. I know. My mom's got satellite internet. She lives like a mile away from your parents.
Oh my god.
Yeah, we can't even get like legitimate internet. It's terrible and like
No.
crazy expensive
Yeah.
for garbage
It's
internet.
Insane.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she pays like
It was probably
150
similar
a
in
month.
Spencer, right? Like
Yeah, my parents actually just got fiber optic internet for the first time like last week.
are they
Oh, damn.
okay? You should probably check in with them and make sure that they're like
dude going from
No, they
like
check in with me all the time on the every platform. They're like, I'm talking to you on Facebook now.
video chatting from multiple devices.
this that fuck you internet.
Yeah, exactly.
Netflix is awesome.
That's like keep calling me in town. No. Yeah, that was a game changer, man. the old like broadband. We were even talking about how like if this pandemic had happened 5 years ago, you know.
Oh
like,
my god.
When all you had was like Skype and you know like some like Google Docs, and it's like early, or you know like mid infancy. It's like it worked, but
Dude, imagine like 12 years ago, 13 years ago, when all we had is like dial up.
yeah. I mean, it would have been an actual like depression level collapse of the economy.
Oh yeah. Nothing would have gotten done. It would have been really bad.
No. Yeah, because there's just enough to like broadcast the virus news, but there wasn't enough to actually be able to do anything about it.
Yeah.
All
Do
that
you think
fake
there would
news.
have been less mask deniers if it happened back then?
Oh, dude. Actually,
But more.
you think?
There
Really?
would have been like less facts out to the public. Like I'm not watching the news to like learn the basics.
That's a fair point.
I also
They wouldn't be deniers, they'd just be like missing out.
I don't really know much about it, you know.
Yeah.
Um,
Could be a good time to wrap.
What's
yep.
we're
wrapping now?
Mr. Yang?
I think-
What's your?
Yeah.
I don't know shit about that.
Anyway, what I'm talking about is like eBay, but for pussy.
Oh, I love this brand
Anyway,
we've established.
Before we wrap, biggest disappointing album of 2021 so far.
Oh, Day to Remember.
Oh, was that this year?
Wait, they dropped
You
this
like
year?
it?
Was it not this year?
Dude, no, I think it was.
It may have been. It was really bad, so
It's
we
hard
can
to
count
tell.
it.
It could have been 2020.
It was bad enough. to
No,
count.
it was this year. It was March of this year.
I'd put that on there.
I will say it's grown on me. There's like 4 songs that I will listen to now.
I'm sorry to hear
It
that,
hit
dog.
live when I saw them, like some of their newer stuff.
You saw them?
Wait, didn't you see
in
them?
2019.
So that was after like Bad Vibrations, right?
Yeah, and they had dropped some, like Resentment and a few singles from this one. They were talking about it. Yeah, that did come out this year. Or no, I think that came.
It came out in 2021.
Yeah,
The new
that
album.
was-
they delayed it like multiple
Yeah.
times.
Yeah, multiple times.
I will say though, actually, that's not the biggest disappointment because I didn't have high expectations for that album. So
Yeah,
same. To get disappointed.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
Dude.
fair, man.
Yeah.
Jazz, biggest disappointment.
Dude, I don't even know. 'Cause that's the thing, I'm not
Dude.
listening to it.
I don't want to like be direct here, but it was a band and they reunited. And
Structures, I wasn't big on it either.
oh no,
Oh yeah, I love Structures.
no, dude, the new Attack.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
Dude.
I never had.
I wasn't gonna
it's
name
not even
drop it, like-
I don't-
Wait,
I
did
don't
they put
consider
out?
it
Did they
canon.
put out a full album?
No, but
okay.
like just the whole reunion has just been a shit show.
Once again, though, couldn't be a disappointment because I didn't have expectations
I
for that.
heard All My
Yeah.
Life, and then I heard the Kawaii Bill Murray song.
Kawaii Cowboy.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
then I was like, I'm literally done with this band. I won't click on another single.
Yeah.
I'm in your camp on this one, Nathan, where hearing from the get-go, it's like, oh, it's 2 members releasing it under a label that they just created. Like, that smells like a cash grab.
Yeah.
Like, it set my bar pretty low,
Yeah.
and they played Limbo with the Devil.
The 2 members that wrote most of that fucking band's music.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It blows my mind too, like how many people are on board with it. They're just like, yeah, it's still Attack. It's like, no, it's not.
Not
Like,
even
why are you lying to yourself?
Right.
Yuck.
That new Smokey Robinson was a letdown, bro.
Bro, that new Smokey.
That new Smokey's
Bro.
Smokey might be losing it.
Bro, on God, Smokey.
I mean, dude,
Beam on Peepaw, bro.
dude, you died like 2 decades ago. Hang it up. Just give up already.
I can't believe you'd say that about him.
The disrespect.
Sorry, dude.
Let's kick his ass after this.
Well, that's
All right.
a wrap. That's a wrap.
Alright, so this has been the Spawn crossover episode. Anything that people should know about Spawn? Any upcoming?
I don't know, but we
It's-
should do this again tomorrow. One for the vault, dude.
Super down.
Yeah.
One for the vault. Alright. In the meantime, it's the freaking voice.